Okay, let's talk numbers for a second. What does a 600% surge in profit actually look like in the real world? Well, for one company in India, it looks a lot like the start of a revolution. Today, we're going to dive deep into CarTrade Tech's absolutely blockbuster year and figure out how it's on track to change the way an entire nation buys and sells.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll set the scene with India's digital gold rush. Then, you'll meet the main player, CarTrade Tech. After that, we'll get into the record-breaking performance, peek under the hood at their success engine, and wrap up by looking at what this all means for the future of India. All right, first things first, let's set the stage. Because to really get why CarTrade Tech is having such a moment, you have to understand the massive scale of the opportunity in India right now. I mean, we're talking about a market that's going through a truly historic transformation. Let's kick things off with a number that's just staggering. 907 million. That's how many people in India are connected to the internet. But here's the kicker. The real story is how they're online. Over 91% of them are on their phones. So what does that mean? It means if you're a business, you can't just have a website. You have to live in the palm of your customer's hand. This mobile-first world is literally the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. So what happens when you have almost a billion people online, mostly on their phones? You guessed it. They shop. A lot. This has sparked a $60 billion e-retail market. And get this, that's just the starting point. It's projected to nearly triple by 2030. This isn't just a growing market. It's an honest-to-goodness digital gold rush. But even within this booming market, there's one area with just mind-boggling potential. Take a look at vehicle ownership. In the US, you've got about 577 cars for every 1,000 people. In India, just 56. That difference, it's not just a gap, it's a massive opportunity. We're talking about one of the largest untapped markets for mobility on the entire planet. Okay, so you've got this huge mobile-first market, right? And it has this enormous, growing appetite for vehicles. Well, now it's time to meet the company that has planted itself right in the eye of this perfect storm, CarTrade Tech. Now, CarTrade Tech isn't just one website. No way. It's a complete ecosystem, a real powerhouse. I mean, think about it. They've got CarWhale and BikeWhale for new vehicles. They've got Shriram Auto Mall for in-person auctions. They own the huge classified site, OLX India. I mean, they've basically built a platform that covers you from the moment you think about buying a vehicle to the moment you sell it. It's the whole journey. And the way they pull this all off is with something they call a phygital model. It's a cool word, right? It just means they're not only online. They've blended their massive digital presence with over 500 actual physical locations, like their auto malls. The takeaway here is simple. They're everywhere their customers are, whether that's on a phone screen or standing on a lot. And the results of this strategy? Well, the trust they've built is just incredible. We're talking more than 74 million unique visitors hitting their platforms every single month. But here's the part that really blows me away. Over 95% of that traffic is organic. That means people aren't clicking on ads. They're actively searching for and going directly to these brands. That speaks volumes about their reputation. All right, so we've got the market and we've met the player. Now it's time for the main event. Let's look at how all of this translated into actual performance during fiscal year 2025. And trust me, this is where the story gets really good. You know, the company's own chairman really nailed it. He called it a defining year, a year where they totally transformed what they thought was possible. And look, this wasn't just some generic corporate talk. The numbers that back this up are, frankly, staggering. And here it is. This is what that staggering performance actually looks like. Just check out the trajectory over the last 3 years. This isn't a one-off good quarter. This is a consistent, steep, rocket ship climb across the board. Revenue, profit, you name it. It's the perfect picture of sustained, explosive growth. But if there's one number you remember, make it this one. A 627% increase in profit, year over year. I mean, let that sink in for a second. That's not just growth. That is the kind of number that defines a massive turnaround and signals a huge shift in a company's power in the market. Okay, a 627% jump in profit doesn't just happen by magic, right? So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that drove this absolutely record-breaking year. First off, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. Their revenue is incredibly well-balanced. It's split almost perfectly between their consumer brands, their remarketing business, and the big one, OLX India. This proves that buying OLX wasn't just a good move, it was a total masterstroke. It's already kicking in nearly a third of all their revenue. So their success really boils down to three key pillars. First, you've got innovation. They have this thing called CarTrade Labs that's cooking up cool AI tools for everything from predictive pricing to chatbots. Second, their financials are rock solid. They're debt-free and asset-light, which just means they can grow super efficiently. And third, tying it all together, is that incredible organic trust we talked about. Their brands are just that strong. All right, so this is way bigger than just a story about one company's profits. When an ecosystem this huge is this successful, it has ripple effects. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture, what this means for the future of India. You know, a huge chunk of their business, especially with OLX and all the used car platforms, is actually really good for the planet. They're at the heart of the circular economy. By making it super easy for people to buy and sell used cars and goods, they're basically giving products a second, third, or even fourth life. This extends how long things are used, encourages reuse, and at the end of the day, helps reduce the carbon footprint of just buying stuff. So, when you put it all together, the massive market share, that unique phygital strategy, and this crazy growth, it leaves us with one really big question to think about for the future. As this one single integrated ecosystem gets bigger and bigger, how is it going to completely reshape the way an entire nation of over 1 billion people buys and sells pretty much everything? That's a future they're not just waiting for, they're actively building it right now. It really all comes down to their mission: transforming experiences, fueling innovation. And honestly, after a year like this one, a year that completely rewrote the rulebook, that vision is quickly becoming a reality for all of India.